Good evening once more. Welcome to our Day 2 evening session for digital pedagogy training. For this session, we'll be looking at a continuation of learning management system. Like we did, I want us to start with an opening prayer. I would then invite Brother Jeremy to unmute and lead us through an opening prayer. Jeremy, could you? Jeremy, I've asked you to unmute. Tap on your screen to unmute.
Thanks so much, our dear facilitator tonight. I request the participants to join me and we humble ourselves for a prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this opportunity. We pray that you continue using our facilitators to enrich us with more knowledge about using technology in teaching our learners. We pray that you continue helping each and every one, especially our participants from different regions. We also pray that you help us with clear network. And we pray that even those who missed the first session and the second session, they may get that knowledge. And we pray that you continue using each and everybody on this platform to get more knowledge as we help our country and the entire world to have a better life. We have played all of these in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, Comrade Jeremy. All right. So, colleagues, I would want to first make you aware. Earliest, we agreed we will be spending 1 hour for the evening sessions. But today, to complete our scope, we kindly request that we complete this out for 1 hour and 30 minutes. This is to help us cover up and exhaust.
So get prepared, the son of Pastor. Go back.
Oh, sorry. So this is how we are going to follow. Our first presenter is going to take 30 minutes and we'll be wrapping up with Google Classroom, sharing that with how to grade and probably responding to any query that could have come up during the course of the day. Immediately after his 30 minutes, we'll follow the next 15 minutes with a demonstration of Tutor LMS. You know, there are many learning management system we did see in the morning as we received the introduction made by Comrade George. So the 15 minutes will take us through a demo on how we can leverage or utilize Tutor LMS as educators. And then we'll also have the other 15 minutes to have the demonstration on Colibri Studio, how we can utilize it as educators from setting up and to supporting the user. We'll conclude our session with a breakout session for us to interactively share as a team from what we've learned and probably share experiences. So please stay on call. Today will take very few minutes from 6 o'clock. So this is what I wanted you to be aware of. Just on call, we are privileged. Our co-facilitators are there. Teacher Nora, Teacher George, Teacher Andrew, and Madam Katsime are all available. Without wasting any time now, allow me invite Comrade George to take up from here. George, you can unmute and continue with Google Classroom.
Very much once again, my brother and all the colleagues who are who have connected, and to you educators, I want to welcome you to yet another. Thank you for connecting earlier in the morning, and I'm pretty sure during the course of the day you've been practicing. I've been seeing you sharing links on the WhatsApp platform. That is so encouraging, because but it is also another thing to practice what is being covered during this virtual training. So members, I want to welcome you to this particular segment of the evening session where we are basically just going to look at one powerful tool or one powerful functionality of the beautiful Google Classroom platform that we looked at earlier on in the day. So having looked at how to create a class, how to invite students, and then also how to post an assignment, we are now going to look at one of the most powerful and time-saving features of this Google Classroom platform, and that is looking at how to grade learners. Having given them an assignment, having given them a task to do, for us to look at how do we grade the assignment, how do we award them marks, and then how do we give them feedback about what they have done. So when a learner submits an assignment, Google Classroom gives you a very, very dedicated place where you can view their work, where you can score it, and then you can provide very meaningful feedback, which is very clear and should be very brief and very clear for the learner to understand and concept well. So I am going to share my screen and I'm going to briefly demonstrate how we can locate that work that the learners have turned in. So just a minute as I share my screen. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, I believe you can now see my screen. So earlier on, we had created a class, and this was our class. We called it P. If the section was the upper class, upper primary or upper class. So we looked at the various features that we are seeing here, like the stream, which we called the timeline, where the communication, where the learners interact with their teachers, where a teacher can post an classwork as a tab where we can be able to deploy the resources and also assignments for our learners. We looked at the people tab as a tab which enables us to be able to invite co-teachers and then also invite our learners. During this particular segment, we want to look at how do we grade our learners. Of course, having given them classwork, like if you remember earlier on in the morning,
Mr.
we
Emerald,
uploaded, yes,
we're
please.
not able to see your screen. Maybe you can, maybe I'm the only one.
Yeah,
but I'm not able to see.
maybe you stop sharing and share again.
Hey, sorry. Okay, I hope you can now see the right.
Yes, you can continue.
Okay, so this is the class that we managed to create earlier on. We call it P4 class upper. We tried to talk about the stream as a platform where we monitor the communications which are passed by the learners, but also by the teachers. Is where we deploy what we want our learners to consume or what we want them, the tasks that we want them to carry out. The people tab is where we invite co-teachers and then also our learners to join. So at this very juncture, we are going to look at basically the grading tab. That is to say, looking at the work that maybe some learners could have attempted it in or to turn it in. So when you look at when you click the grades tab, When you click the grades tab, you list of the learners, they are all available here. But remember, out of the work that we had deployed earlier on, these class notes were deployed by Mr. Rogers for every learner in the class. And then this multiplication of not live. As we talk now, the learners are not accessing it because we just schedule it such that they access it on a future date. Should be accessing the class notes, which my co-teacher, Teacher Rogers Mukalele, uploaded. So I don't know, I'm going to check whether some members tried to practice on turning in work. Just click the grades, and then I can click the math, and then the math resource or math assignment that was uploaded. I can see here that it was assigned to 16 learners, and out of the it was assigned to the learners, and one only managed to turn in, and we can see 16 are still assigned to the work. Now, this one who has turned in is the one that has managed to do something about the assignment, and he has turned it in, now ready for the teacher to mark or to award marks. The 16 who are still under the area where we are seeing assigned, those 16, they have been assigned the assignment, but they have not yet done anything about it. They have not yet turned in their responses to the assignment. So we are going to look at this one learner who has his or her assignment. So we shall just click here, and we can ably see the learner who has managed to turn in the work. And that learner, when you click the 16, you see that they don't have anything that they have uploaded. So we only have one learner. Now, how are we going to grade this one learner who has managed to? When you look at the learner is called Dennis Wogisha, and right next to the learner, there is a space that is preparing to to enter there the marks that the learner qualifies to get. Of course, you don't just enter there the marks without looking at the learner's work. So this is the learner's work. To look at the learner's work, we are going to just click on the learner's work, and then we can be in position to view it. So it is opening where it is going to preview, and you can see this is what the learner did and managed to. It is actually a picture. So when you give learners an assignment, learners can write somewhere, they can type somewhere and upload it as a PDF document, or as learners can be in position to just take a picture. They can just answer maybe on a paper, and then they take a picture and then they upload that picture. The learners can also attach there a link, maybe which leads you to where the learner has stored his or her assignment that he has done. So having looked at the learner's assignment, when you look at the number of the files that learner has uploaded, we can ably see that there is only one attachment or one file. And this one file is the learner's response to the assignment. So we are now teachers, we look at the work that the learners turned in, we look at this properly, and then now we can be able to give the learner the grade that he or she has scored. So this grade, 100. This is because earlier on in the morning when we are creating the assignment, I think I forgot to talk about this. There is where grade for each assignment. You can set the grade out of 100, you can set it out of 50, depending on what requires or what the teacher has planned to do. But by default, our grade here is 100. So we are going to mark this assignment out of 100 points. Now, it is up to you, the teacher, to determine which particular mark you are going to give the learner, depending as they attempted your assignment. So for this particular learner, I think we can, let's give the learner maybe a 70, maybe 70 marks. Yes?
Maybe there is something just where you are.
Yes,
I
Rogers?
want... Yes, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I just wanted to interrupt you for just a minute from where you are there before you return the work. I wanted to tell the the teachers that marking or grading using the app has some interesting feature at this point. It even has a red pen. Maybe there's something I wanted to show here. Just a minute, then you are going to go back. So here you are, for example,
Stop
assessed and
sharing.
yeah, just stop sharing. Then I show. So if I share my screen here, I'm now sharing using the phone. Are you seeing my phone? Are you seeing my phone?
Yes.
Yes. So when I go to the class using the app and when I'm a teacher, because I'm a co-teacher with you, so I can see here the stream. I can see. So if I click on this assignment, I'm able to see Dennis has turned in. So the 70 mark you had captured on desktop is actually here. Now, when I open Dennis and then I open his work here on my phone as a teacher, I'm able to mark using even a pen. So there is this part where there is this blue part at the bottom here. Just a minute as it loads. It is able to, okay, just a minute. Okay, let me first load again. So I wanted to show you something very interesting. So when we are marking learners, so when you are using a computer, you don't see this. When you are using the app, okay. So let me hope it will open now. Yeah, it has now opened. So I have down here a red pen, and I also have a comment box. So I can come here and I start marking my learners the way I would mark ideally their work. And then I can also use the text feature to put some comments, maybe add well. Learners might have done their work with a pen and maybe they scanned it using a photo become scanner and then they upload it. So I can save. So then I can have this mark added. After marking, I can be able to return the mark. So let me not return. Let me first leave it when it is in this format. Let me allow Mr. Emodut to refresh that side, and you'll be able to see the script that I have marked with the learners. If you refresh, you'll be able to see what I've done and I've saved. If I return the script, the learner will actually see the marks, even the ticks and the comments. So that is just powerful on the app, but not on the desktop.
Maybe to interrupt you a little bit, Joseph's hand is up. Joseph, is it urgent? You put up your hand. Kindly unmute.
So when you click on the edited one, I think you'll be able to see there are files on the right. should be able to load, and you can see the ticks. They are there. So when I return the learner's work, there is both edited and even the original. Okay. The one which is
Maybe before
My question is the pens. Where are the pens from?
in the app, when you're
Yes.
using Google Classroom app, you see the pen, and you can mark either using a tablet or using your phone. You can mark. You can use a red pen. You can use there are different pens there. The
So
color
the
is
piece. So apart from the tab and the phone, what about the desktop?
on desktop. It's not there. It's only on the tab.
It's okay.
Okay. On the app. Thank you. You can proceed, Ms.
okay,
Emru.
members, you can see how powerful this tool is. You can actually do a lot, and apart from what we have just done, now before you return, you can also give your learner a private maybe feedback about the what about the assignment according to the way you have. So you can say you can just enter what Rogers had put here, please. And you have done well, but next time, maybe add your digits well. And then after giving your learner a comment, and then you can be able to post. And then now you can return. You return this. Now returning means the learner back feedback. You are giving the learner to know what the learner has done, the way the learner has performed during the what? During the assignment. So you just click return. So as you see here, it is now faint. It means now my learner, that is Mr. Wojisha, Mr. Wogi, can now, when this learner logs in to his Google Classroom, or when he logs into his email account, he can even get a notification. But also when he Classroom, he can be able to see that his work or his assignment has been graded. And when you go back to the main student's work, you get to see that we now have 0 learners turned in, because the only one learner who had turned in the work has been already graded. That learner now shifts to those who have been graded. That is briefly how we can grade our learners. But on top of this, you can also create self-grading maybe tasks like the quiz with the help of which the good thing, we are going to look at Google Forms in our next subsequent sessions. So I'm sure we shall be able to show you how you can create an assignment which can automatically grade the learner instantly, and the moment the learner finishes the assignment and submits it, he or she is automatically graded. Basically, how we can grade our learners. Maybe if there is somebody who has not, who has a question, a burning one, before we shift it to another speaker. Otherwise, that is what I think we can do when it comes to grading learners.
Jeremy, your
Google.
microphone is open. Please ask the question precisely. Be precise. Jeremy? Oh, okay.
Yes, I have a question.
Mm.
Sir.
Jeremy, we can't
Yes.
hear you. Yes.
You are mute. It's because of network.
Sorry, could you?
Good evening once again.
Good evening.
Yes, I missed the morning session simply because of poor network.
Okay, okay.
And I would like to have that link. And of course, I missed even yesterday's session. I only attended the evening session. Then I have another concern. I'm not on your group. I needed you to connect me on the group. That is why I'm failing to raise my concerns.
Okay, we've got your concerns. Please stay on call. I will respond to them. Comrade George, when I look at the chat, there is no any contentious question that has come up. We want to appreciate you for the good presentation, and probably I
Maybe
would ask you to wrap it up and we turn the interest of time.
Mr. Dennis, just Mr. Dennis.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Yeah, just something to chip in. So members, I highly encourage you when you create these 4 tabs, they play a very pivotal role in you managing it. So this stream tab, then the classwork tab, the people tab, and then now the grades tab. That is now where you can see all the grades or the performance of your learners. You can see the learner that we graded. The learner that we graded is right down here. His marks are here. If learners had attempted the assignment and we had graded them, we could able have a long list of the marks that are available here. And these marks, we can even be in position to export them as an Excel file or as a spreadsheet, and then we can beyond working with the Google Classroom, even outside now Google Classroom. Yeah, so when we create them, let's practice to utilize the four tabs that we have here, and we shall ably enjoy this Google Classroom. So over to you, Mr. Dennis. Maybe you can now invite another speaker, or you yourself, because I think you also have a session. You have something to demonstrate.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. George, for the good presentation. Colleagues, like we did in the morning, you can always join me by tapping the reaction button to extend gratitude to the speaker. Simply just tap the reaction button, give him a thumbs up. You can even clap your hands virtually, but we want to receive this as a very great presentation. Thank you all who have done so. Colleague Rogers, can I now transit to tutor, or there is something you want to put across?
Yes, I think just proceed because of time. We need to really, we are going through Google Classroom and we are going to share, like I said, we have shared a resource on Google Classroom. In case this introduction we have made is someone needs to explore more, please go and get the PDF. It has more guidelines on how you can use Google Classroom. Google Classroom is not the only LMS. It is a free LMS available to us, and it is part of the Google Suite. Google Workspace, and anyone with a Gmail can have it, but we have many more LMSs which can do different things. One of them is Tutor LMS, and we'd like to request Mr. Wogisha to show us briefly about Tutor LMS and how he uses it. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you very much, Mr. Mukariri Rogers, for that warm welcome. Well, colleagues, besides the Google Classroom, Tutor LMS can make life very, very easier in case you have a website or you have a system online, but you would want to still offer learning, independent learning. By that I mean you want learners to subscribe for a course and then study at their own pace, just as Google Classroom does. I would want us to just interact for a minute, but not verbatively. If there is any person on call who has a website, or if their school has a website, just hit the reaction button and put up your hand. I'm monitoring now the list. Should there be any person, if you have a personal website or if your school has a website, just put up your hand. I'm giving it a few seconds to get this feedback. Okay, Ronald Wasfa, good. That's one person. If you have a website or your school has a website, put up that. Put up your hand. Okay, now Comrade Wasfa, lower your hand. Thank you for that feedback. Now, as educators, you people will need to support the schools build up website. Now that you have internet, building up a website is something very, very simple. Currently, what you're looking at is my personal website, teacherdeniskruger.com, all built courtesy of WordPress. So in case you want to have a website like this, you can proceed to my YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and then simply search for Teacher Dennis Kruger, among the resources there are my videos. There are a couple of videos that are there, and I've even categorized them according to purposes. So one of the playlists there is building WordPress websites, these webinars. So please, you can go back later. You can go back later, and if you have time and you want to have a website, so you can build up your own website. Okay, now for my case here, I will be showing you quickly in the shortest period of time how I managed to include a few courses on my website. Because if you check on the homepage, I have these 3 courses that I have set up. You may think it is hard, but it is very, very simple to do that. So I will share the link here in the chat, and you're free to late after the session to look at the website and interact with it deeper. Now, what I will do first is I will need to log in back end, and that is very simple. You just have to log in your WordPress site by visiting the URL and adding WP admin and then log in. And once you've logged in, this is what you'll have at the back end. Those who have introduced WordPress know what I'm talking about. But even so, there is a video I will be sharing or attaching at the end of the day in case you want to install WordPress and manage to have a website like this. Now, to set up the course, you need software, you need a plugin called Tutor. So from your dashboard here, you proceed to plugins and then click add new plugins. Then probably search for Tutor LMS. It is just TU, like Tutor, TUTOR, then LMS. Very fortunately, is I've already installed one on my site. So even when I search, it is already added. Now, how do we now use this plugin? Of course, once you install the plugin, next thing is you activate it. Now, to use the plugin, you'll add courses, you'll add categories, and you can even always see the students who have subscribed for your courses through this part here on the dashboard. For our case, I will begin with categories. It is important that as you structure your courses or you set up your courses, you first put some categories to group your courses. For my site, I have a category digital marketing, I have edutech, graphic design, Microsoft Office, and programming. To add a category, you just always type here the category name on your right, and boom, you'll have a category. Now, next are courses. To add courses, it's again very simple. From the very part of the plugin tutor, once you hover on it, there is always a side menu. I've already clicked on tutor LMS, so all the courses I've expanded that are available. To add a new course, you can either click on add new course from this part, or even above this title bar on the dashboard, you can always hover the cursor there and then select add course. So I click new course. Well, now the course has three parts. We have basics, curriculum, and additional. This is the back end. For basics, what is important is the title of the course. I want to just paste here a few things. I prepared already some information here to just speed up with the process. So the course title I would want to set up quickly here is this one, building a professional website with WordPress. For the description, I already prepared something simple here. I'll copy it and I'll still paste it here. So when you're creating a course, put a title, put a description. Now, among the basics are the following. You need to always set up the difficult level. How is the course? Is it for beginners? Is it for middle, like intermediate people, or experts? This one, I'll put it as an intermediate course. And very importantly, you always have to select a featured image, like a picture, to help identify your course. I'll just select here any picture from my site to be the featured image. Now, also, you can always choose to make your course to be a free one or a paid course. By paid, you can always set the costs. I will leave it at a free cost here. And then finally, choose the category that is in digital marketing. Let me leave it at digital. Let me put it at edutech tools. So title put, description has been put, difficult level, and then the featured image. So once you're done with this, you now can continue to curriculum. If I just show you the front end briefly here, and you take note of something. On the front end, on my home page, I have one of the section as the courses. So this is the featured image of the course. This is the title. Now, when I click on this course, I will have the description that we've just put and other details we're yet to put, but the curriculum will always be here under course content. So you can plan and effectively structure your course into topics and two lessons. For now, I will just add one topic for learning purposes. I already took a plan, and these are some of the topics I can have when I'm teaching this course, Web Fundamentals. So if I copy this, I can click on Add Topic, and then finally put some summary if I would wish, then click OK. So that's how we add a topic, Web Fundamentals. Once the topic has been added, the next thing you can add are lessons. So still, I prepared some lessons here for adding this. One of the lessons here is domain versus hosting. So to add this lesson, I will click on lesson. And then I put in the lesson name. And then I put in the content for the lesson. So I'll just highlight this, everything in this part here. Copy it and paste. As an educator, you prepare your content. So this is one of the lessons I'm teaching, domain versus hosting, what it means, and I've put in my content. You can even explore these tools later, bold, add content, images that you can try out on your free time. You can also add a video. You just always click add URL by tapping here to add a video. But I'll just click save in the interest of time. So for our topic curriculum, I have one lesson so far. To conclude, I also add a quiz, because once the learner has studied the lesson, they have to take an activity. To add a quiz, I still click on add quiz, and then I put in the quiz title. I prepared just a 3-question quiz here, and we're going to call it Understanding Domain and Hosting. So I'll paste here the quiz. To now add questions, just click on add question. Now when adding question, you have to select the type of the question. Is it true or false, multiple choice, open? Let me just select multiple choice for learning purposes here. And now to put the question, I will just copy the question here. What is the difference between a domain name and hosting? And then I paste out my question in this part here. So I've added the question that is clearly here. Now, to now add options that the learner has to choose from, you can always click add option. Options are now the multiple choices that the learner has to select from. I'll also copy this quickly and paste it here as the first option, and then click OK to add. I'll click again, add option, highlight, still from my documents, and paste. Click OK. Still proceed, highlight the third, click copy, and then still proceed by clicking that add the question again. I just want to add the last option, and that will be all. So the last option is this. So still I'll click the plus sign here, and then I add the option, then click OK. So I've added the 4 options, the question, then the 4 options. Finally, you have to choose the correct answer, because once the learner has done the question, they have to fully get the feedback instantly. So to set the correct answer, I click on the response and then tick on the extreme left. We can add many questions following the same procedure. In the interest of time, I'll just click here next and then click save. The other details you can go over over time. So for our course, finally, we go to additional. Don't forget, we began from basics. We've added the content. We would have followed the same procedure to add other topics. And lastly, under additional here is very vital. You give a course overview, what learners will cover. Just as you see on my site here, I have the course, I have the description, and then I have what learners will learn. So still I prepared something to achieve a quick output. I'll just go highlight here what learners will cover. This is what learners will learn. I'll highlight it and copy it, and then come and paste it in our builder, LMS builder. Now, once you've done that, the other thing is to put target audience, or maybe put students, just quickly here. Course duration, how long you calculate the topics, the time learners will spend, and then include maybe 15 hours, 10 hours. It is you to assess, determine, and then put. Then finally, the materials. You can also try to deeply take research and provide some extra materials as a resource. So here I've included domain checklist, full site editing, quick reference card, demo sites, and other reference plus a certificate. Now, once you're sure you've done everything and you want now the course to be available on your front end of the website, you just go and click publish. And once you've clicked publish, we're going to go to the home page now. That is now teacherdeniskruger.com. I've refreshed to get the current feed, and then scroll a little bit down on my homepage. Now, if you check currently, the course is here. The course has come. I have building a professional website, and it is a free course. So if I click on the course details will appear. The featured image is here. The description is here. The overview, what learners will cover, and then the content. So currently learners can't see the content unless they enroll. If they click on enroll, they can now start learning. If you click on start learning, so they can now use it like in Google Classroom. You see here, if they are starting to learn, they will have the topic, which is the one they are covering that time, the lessons on the extreme right, the content, and as they do the content, they can proceed to do the activity themselves at their own pace, and that is the beauty with learning management system. How I wish I had more time, but I know this is not the very session we have. There are more other sessions we'll have. This is just to introduce you, to assure to you that as a teacher, as an educator, you can have a website. There's already a video we're adding as a resource where I've explained to educators how to build a website, a free one. But after you've set up the website, you can have an LMS to help you add courses so that learners can study on their own. I would end at this very point. If there are questions, I know we are going to interact further. Over to you back, Rogers, for any other feedback. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Like members, you remember when we're starting the session, we asked that this session we shall have some 30 extra minutes because we knew we couldn't cover Google Classroom, Twitter LMS, and also Colibri within 1 hour. So we have only 7 minutes left to 6, but I'm going to give also a quick overview on Colibri, and then we shall have a general session. One thing that we want to tell you is we started with the Google Classroom and we gave it more time. So you can start with that because it is free and available and you can use it. Then these other tools, there are those of us, you see, when we are teaching learners, you should cater for the beginners, but also you should cater for, even in the new curriculum, we need to be able to cater for the time takers, and also those ones who are already ahead, so that all of them can be able to have something. So Colibri is Google Classroom is beginners. You start with that, but then Tutor LMS can make you an educator for the whole world because you can create a course and people can even pay to enroll in it. And if you are a school, like Mr. Ogisha has shared, you can have some courses organized to departmental level with a course, and then there are videos, and you can even offer distance learning if you are like these institutions of higher learning, like the technical institutions and all that. You can have your courses digitized with assessments and everything, and learners can study from home, and then they're able to log on, do the coursework, and do everything. So whereby with an online website, you can easily get them and even other people from the community. So I want to say that Google Classroom, that Twitter LMS works on a live server. It can also work on localhost offline. You can download WordPress. WordPress is a free software. You can download it and install it on localhost in the software called XAMPP, and you have your LMS offline on your local area network. But we have another software called Colibri, which works. It was made for offline fast environments. It is a fully-fledged LMS, and I'm going to be sharing more about it now as we proceed with our session. I'm not going to go into the theory. I'm just going to go straight and share. So if you go to the Google Classroom, our Google Classroom that we are using, I shared earlier in the morning 2 PDFs. One, having, when you go under resources, you'll find Colibri user guide. You'll also find Colibri Studio user guide. So now the Colibri Studio is the one used by content creators. If you want to organize your channels of content, And then after you have created the content, organized it well, you can be able to import it in your Colibri LMS. And then the Colibri user guide guides you on how you can use it as a learner, as a teacher, as a different use cases. So these PDFs were done by Learning Equality, and they are comprehensive. They guide everything. And we also have a number of videos that we have done in the past. Yeah, so the main primary thing that you need to do first is to create an account. As you can see in this PDF, talks about creating an account. So to create an account on Colibri Studio, you can just go to Google and you search for Colibri Studio, okay? So these steps are well guided in the PDF, step by step. So, so when you go to Colibri Studio, it will ask you to create an account, okay? So you can easily click on create an account and then you fill in some information. Now, for me, I already have an account, so I'm not going to create an account again. I'll just sign in. And when I sign in, it is going to take me inside my Colibri Studio. Now, as you realize, I have some channels that I've been creating with other teachers. We've been collaborating with other teachers and creating several channels. Yeah, but you can easily create a channel, and it has some details here. A channel can be, you can give it a description. I'm not going to create a new one. Let me just open an old one here, which I already created earlier. But the steps are all in there in the PDF on Colibri Studio. So I have here in Colibri Studio, you can organize your content if by class or by subject. So you can easily create a channel, you give it a description, and then in each channel you can always create, you can add a folder, and in that folder you can upload files. Okay. So for example, I have a folder here for P1. And in this P1 folder, I've added my files. I have PDFs, which I have organized here. And remember, these things are going to be accessed offline without internet when you install Colibri offline. But before you have them accessed offline, you need to first curate them and organize your materials. You can add different types of material. You can add exercise, you can add folders, you can import from other channels. There are very many things that you can do. And if it is an exercise or a quiz, there are various ways you can be able to put a description. We have what we call questions here. You can put questions. They can be multi-choice. They can be single choice, multiple choice text input. So you can organize your. You see, in the new curriculum, we need to give learners activities to do. So you can take your time. You put your question here. You can import a photo. And then you put the right answers, you add the answers, and then you'll be able to submit. So everything that is here is inside the PDF that has been shared here on Google Classroom. Please just go through it. It will show you everything regarding Colibri Studio and how to utilize it to create your environment. Now, when it comes to the managing the channels, as you can see here, what I've been showing you, managing the channels, importing, organizing your files, everything is inside this particular tutorial. Now, this is just creating the channel. Now, Colibri itself, there's a difference between Colibri and Colibri Studio. So if I go to Colibri, so Colibri is used a lot here in Uganda. When you search for Colibri, you'll find this website of Ministry of Education, elearning.go.ug. Don't be confused. This one here is just an instance of Colibri, the ministry, with support from UNICEF, because I can see even some content here. They piloted this project, and Colibri can actually be hosted on a live server. It can also work offline. So they were providing resources during COVID, and they created some kind of channel here. So this is just this is like being used like a digital library. But you don't go there. You go to this other one where there is learning equality. Okay. Learning Equality. Learning Equality is the company that does the Colibri. And they are saying it is an ecosystem of open digital products and tools centered around offline past learning platforms. The advantage with Colibri is that it comes already with some open educational resources. You don't start from scratch, and you can import those, and then you can be able to add on your own from the channels you'll have created. So you can go ahead and download the Colibri. There is somewhere here you go up, and then you can be able to download. Okay, so if you want to have it work offline, you can be able to go ahead and download it. And then when you download, you'll be able to install the Colibri. Everything is there, how to get started. There are very many resources, and learners can be able to use Colibri. And there's even an app which has come up, an Android app. So if you have tablets, learners can be able to access, to synchronize and access everything offline. Now, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you an instance of Colibri which I've already installed. So when you go to the website of Educate Teachers Network, we have actually a Colibri installation we have enabled and connected to it. This is the shared Colibri installation. So when you go to our website, Educate Network, and you go under resources, you'll find the Colibri library there. So this one is the same thing you'll see when you install it offline. You'll see, but you don't have the channels. Now, for me, I'm going to log in. I'm going to log in into this installation, and then I talk about a few things. Just a minute. Let me see. Yeah, let me do it from here. I think it should be able to work. Yeah. So okay, so here I'm logged in as an admin of this particular Colibri installation. So Colibri can work offline, and it can also work online. So online is in case maybe it is a shared, you want maybe to have different educators collaborate and access to resources that you have curated, but then you can synchronize it. Yeah, so for me here, I have an account, okay? Yeah, so you can also come here and create an account on our Colibri installation. So I've logged in now. I want to see, as a user, how do I use Colibri? So when you go in the corner this side, you'll see different things. We have what you call the home, we have library, we have coach, facility, we have device. This is the same thing you'll see when you download the Colibri and have it on your desktop there. You'll still see it running offline. So I will have this. So when you come to, let me go to device. When you come to device, and then you go to channels, okay? So when you go to device channels, this is where you import content which was created under Colibri Studio to come here. So I can come here and I click on import. Then it will ask me, where do I import from? I say, I want to import it from a memory card, from local area, or from Colibri Studio. So I say Colibri Studio, and then I can go ahead and it is going to ask me to import. So when I come, for example, I'm seeing this channel here called Kawa Offline Content. Let me try to see if I can import this. Okay, so let me remove. There's a lesson here which is incomplete. Let me remove this. If I don't have a complete content, then it will not work. So I can come here and I say version 1, and then I publish. Now, this is a channel I created in Colibri Studio on Learning Equality website. But now I want to import this into my offline library of Colibri, which I'm having. So this side on my library, I will have to click on import with token. And then I can go ahead and I get this. I come here and I say get token, and then I get this token here. Now, this token, some teachers have been creating tokens and sharing with us, and we have been importing on this digital library. So I can click on continue, and then it is going to go and download. It will identify, and it will show you how much space you are having, and it will show you the resources that you are importing, and then you are able to import them into your library. So the Colibri Studio is like a place where the channels are created and everything is organized. And then the Colibri Studio is where the Colibri itself is the LMS. Now, so far, I've shown you what you call channels. And when you go to devices here, you can be able to import. So I have several channels here, channels that I've imported on this particular. Some of these channels we are having new curriculum resources. I have from different schools like Lutete, different people have been giving us channels. So when we go to the LAN, we're able to see the channels that are there, including the one I've just imported of Kawa offline content, which is here. So this has just been newly uploaded. Now, you can create your own digital library. In the current era, learners are supposed to have access to resources whereby you don't just be printing every time. There are a lot of resources that you can be able to give learners. There are books, there are what Colibri has a lot of things. There are many channels also you can import, and then learners can be able to open them, and then they can be able to read and be able to understand and be able to utilize them in their learning. So you can build your own digital library when you're using Colibri. You can, and this library can work offline on your local area network or on the computers without internet when it is not there. And you can be able to curate. But Colibri is not just a digital library. It has a library, but it also has real LMS. So when you come in here, there is this was device where you build the library and import channels. But when you go to facility, we have what we call classes, users, and other things. So for example, when I go to classes, I can be able to, like I have here a class that I've created for senior 2. So you can create classes and give, whereby when learners log in as that, and they can be attached to a given class, and only the resources of senior 1 are appearing to them. So you can be able to create a class within Colibri now under the facility place, and say, for example, senior 3. I can see my time is, so senior 3 class. Then I say save. So I create a class. So I've created a class. So when I click on a class, I attach or assign coaches. Coaches are teachers. So I can assign teachers. Maybe for me, so I can, for example, so here I'm seeing only one teacher. So I'm going to confirm that one as the teacher. And then I can enroll learners in this class. So I have one learner here called Student Rogers. So I can be able to enroll that learner to the Colibri. And then I've been able to do the facility here. I've been able to configure the facility. So I can do users. We have users here. I can add new users. I can add new learners. And when I'm to add a new user, I just put their username and password, which they can use to log in into this LMS. Now, after I've created the users, the coaches now, when they log in, they are being assigned. So when the coaches, when they go to class home, when you log in as a coach, you'll be able to see the classes which you have been assigned as a coach. So for example, I have this class in year 3, but it doesn't have any quizzes, no activities, no lessons. So I can go ahead as a coach, and I can be able to go ahead. As you realize, the super admin can do any role, but a coach, when he logs in, you will only find the coach area. So I can be able to come here and I create a new lesson, okay? And then I say biology, introduction to biology, intro to biology. As I, this thing here, you see, it can work. It is free software and it can work. So I can say, this lesson, is it for everyone or for individual learners? If I say individual learners, I can specify the learners. If I say the entire class, I say entire class. Then I can go ahead and I save. Now, when I create the class, I've created a lesson. I can go ahead and I add resources. Okay, I can add resources to this class. So when I click on resources, it is going to bring the Colibri channels. That's the reason why I started with the Colibri channels. It will ask you to choose the Colibri channels, which are there so that you can be able to import resources. For example, I'm going to come here where there is PhET simulations, and I'm going to choose biology, and then I'm going to choose this particular video on color vision, or I can select all, I can select particular resources. So I'm selecting for these learners because my Colibri Digital Library has a lot of resources, but I'm specifically curating some resources. I might even create my own resources in Colibri Studio, import them, and then after that, I create a class and I select for these learners particular resources that I want them to utilize. The learners, I'm seeing only one learner here. Okay. Then after that, when I've finished, when I have the resources which I've added, I can also add quizzes. Okay. So I can go ahead and I say, okay, I need to create a new quiz after they have covered the resources that I've assigned them to read. I can be able to do a biology quiz. Okay. Like you saw in Tutor LMS, Mr. Ogisha was doing a quiz. Even me here, I can do a quiz for the entire class or for individual learners. So then learners, the Colibri will be marking them automatically. Then I can be able to go ahead and I add questions, sections, and I can also add questions to this particular quiz. Okay. So how many questions do I need? Let me just put 3 questions for now. And then I say continue. Just a minute. Yeah, just a minute as I finish. So I'm going to say continue here. And then it is going to ask me to select the questions. So the questions, I must have created them under Colibri Studio already and imported the channel which has the questions so that when I come here, I will just select that particular channel which has those questions. It will appear here. The thing is going to show me the question, the channel which has questions. So I'm going to go to this one here. And then I'm going to go to, let me just go to science, since biology is under science. And then I have life science, I have a lot. I have biology here, it has over 800 questions. And then from here, I have introduction to biology. And then from here, I'm going to select some of the questions, maybe scientific models in biology, or what is a scientist. And then I can select these questions here. So I told it to add 3 questions. So I've told it to add 3 questions. So it is going to help me to select the questions which I'm going to add. So as simple as that, I've created my quiz. The questions come in the channel, which I must have created earlier. Okay, so I've done this, and I have my lessons, and I have when I go to class home, I can be able to see introduction to biology. I have a lesson. I also have the quizzes that I'm having. I have the biology quiz. So for when learners when learners log in, when you log in as a learner, let me try to log in as a learner now. I'm going to go to login. I'm going to go to EduTech Teachers Network. Please, you can use this Colibri installation for practice. If you have any channels you've created, you can give us a token we import, but also you can just install it offline and use it on your computer. So I'm going to come in here and I sign in now. This time I'm going to sign in as a learner, okay? So when I sign in as a learner, I'm going to say my username is S. Rogers. I think that was the student Rogers. Okay. So that is the username I used for the learner. So let me hope my password will allow. So you can be able to yeah, the password is allowed. So now I've logged in as S. Rogers. As you can see in the corner here, it is showing me the classes that have been enrolled. I'm having senior 3, but it's showing me you have no lessons, you have no quizzes. Why? The quiz that I created this side as a teacher, okay, as I conclude, I created a quiz, but I've not assigned it to these learners, okay? So I need to click on Start Quiz. It allows me, I can start this quiz for 30 minutes, and I tell learners, do the quiz. So I'm going to say continue. This side as a teacher. So it is now it has brought in the quiz. So I've started the quiz. So after starting the quiz, when I come this side and I refresh now as a learner, it is going to show me the quiz is now there because it has been started. And so I have questions. I can click on a question. The question is there. And then I can choose an alternative and then I say next. So the thing is going, it is even timing me up here, the time spent on the quiz. Another question has come. I choose an answer. I choose an answer as I'm about to finish. So I can go ahead and I say next. Then the last, okay, sorry, this was Colibri. It was I was trying to install the other one which I told you to download has finished. So I can select another option here and then I say submit quiz. So it's going to give me a score. Automatically, I've got 69%. And as a teacher, the other side, I can see all the scores, I can export them. So members, Colibri is not just a digital library. It is also a fully-fledged LMS in which you can create a course, you can have learners, you can assign, you can create classes, you can create quizzes, you can create resources. You curate the resources through Colibri Studio, import the resources via a token as an admin in Colibri so that you organize your resources and then you can be able to enable settings. If you want learners to register, there are a lot of settings in Colibri that you can be able to do at a facility level in there when you are a super admin. So at facility level, you can go to settings. You can be able to set your Colibri whereby learners can register, they can create accounts, or you can disable that and then you add them on your own. So basically, that is what I wanted to tell you. So for the task that we can do for this particular course, we decided to focus more on Google Classroom for the start. Try to do the assignment of Google Classroom that we provided. But those of you who have gone beyond Google Classroom and you want, please try out Colibri. Go to Colibri Studio. Follow the tutorials that we have provided in the Google Classroom that we have. The tutorials are there. Just go to Digital Pedagogy. Go get the guidelines there and then follow them. You will be able to follow and create your own channels and install Colibri on your computer. Yeah. Then also for the online Colibri, we can collaborate. If you have created a very good channel with resources, you can share with us a token and we can be able to add it on the online Colibri on the Educate Teachers Network so that we can be able to, again, everyone can actually synchronize with us and they all get what different schools, what different teachers are creating. So different teachers can create channels, we curate them in one place, and then everyone can again synchronize and import from the online to have it offline. So basically that is what is there. So the assignment on Google Classroom is there. So far, I can see 3 people have handed in. Please go ahead and do something in the Google Classroom, and then you submit. I can see Emmanuel has tried to submit. He has submitted a screenshot of his Google Classroom. So that is good. He has even put a resource in it. So Emmanuel, I think we can give you a 99% and you return your mark. Yes, I think you have done very well. Thank you very much. So here I can be able to mark and I return your marks at the end of the day. So please do the assignment and that will be good enough. So at this time, I want to hand over back to you, Mr. Ogisha, so that we can be able to get any questions as we wrap up learning management systems.
Maybe a quick one there before you go off. A colleague called Moses has asked the difference between Colibri and Padlet. Could you give a counter reaction on it quickly?
Okay, Padlet is just an online platform for curating resources, which they call Padlets. It's another EduTech tool. We may not look at it now, but it is totally different. Colibri Works is offline first, but Padlet is just an online visual collaboration workspace. So you can go ahead and create a Padlet and put your resources in there. But Colibri, you curate your resources, you can install the offline version, or you can install the Android app and then you can import your channel, and it is whenever, even if you don't have data, you can use your Colibri offline without data, and learners can access. Yeah.
Thank you. Addition to that, Madam Janet has given a very good response that Padlet is an interactive communication tool, truly, because it can foster discussion. And she emphasizes that Colibri is a free open source e-learning platform and LMS plus studio for content curation. Well, colleagues, if you follow the charts, very interestingly, also, Madam Janet has shared very good communication here. You are aware NCDC organized content on Colibri Studio and imported it to Colibri e-library that is hosted on NITA Uganda Data Center as an e-governance service. The link has been shared through the charts that you can use to utilize this data. And very importantly is that Airtel has zero-rated it. So that would mean even if you don't have data, you can still utilize the content materials from this channel. So colleagues, I have followed the charts, and almost all of you, besides the complaint that I was very fast, there is no other question that has come up directly to us. I would appreciate you all for being very, very patient with us. But before we end, we want to interact briefly from you. If there is a member having a question, earlier we had thought we would have a breakout, but with 6 minutes to the end of the 30 we requested, we can't go out to a breakout session now. Although would give room to members here to share briefly through either chat or putting up their hands. So colleagues who have been following, if there is a concern, there is a question, or there is a comment you want to give, you are free to put up your hands. I guide you that you rename your device as well to help us identify. Currently, IMAC Technologies hand is up, so I can't tell who he is or she is. But please kindly unmute and tell us your name briefly.
Yes, thank you so much. And my name is Chiza Clement Msime. My question is about WordPress. Can we get more sessions about WordPress? Because it was the network was not that good, and it was so speedy. And for you, we would like to know that plugin of Tutor LMS. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that has been talked of.
Maybe, Mr. Ogisha, I can try to answer that. Members, all these technologies, they would take time and they require, but when it comes to things of technology, we need to develop the culture of exploring. Most of the people who have learned WordPress, they have learned it on their own. So what we have provided, even when you go to the Google Classroom, there is a video, there is already a video resource about WordPress, which is quick. And once you follow it, you can be able to do something. And there are very many tutorials also on YouTube. So let us utilize technology, really. But for the 5 days that we are having for this program, tomorrow, we are going to be looking at another theme. So today we have looked at LMSs. There are many other LMSs like Modo and many others that we have not looked at. But at the end of the day, let us dig deep. We have the internet now. So when you go to the Google Classroom, there is a video resource on how to create a course with Tutor LMS. Even Mr. Ogisha has shared already some tutorials that he is having. So this one here it shows everything from installing it, and it is really short. Learners registration, everything. We have provided that resource. Also, there are other resources we are going to continue. So please take your time when you are free. Just take off some 30 minutes, watch that. You'll be able to do something more. Yeah, that's what I can respond for now.
All right. Abucha, your hand was up. I don't think you lowered it. Achuka, rather. Joseph, Comrade Joseph. Has the question been responded to?
Yeah, actually, I was trying to inquire about the Colibri Studio, Because I've been seeing like online quizzes where you would go for interviews and you're given such a scenario. So is it possible for me to create one and then people just take like that? Oh, it needs again me to create again another channel and then I refer them the material there. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the Colibri Studio, the content is curated via Colibri Studio. So whether it is quizzes, whether it is content, you go to Colibri Studio, you organize your channel very well, you import all your questions. You can put as many questions as possible. Then after that, you import on your Colibri. Like as we have been talking here, I've actually finished installing the offline version on my laptop. So I can now import the Colibri on my computer. I can now import to my computer here, and then it is just a program on my desktop. So it is telling me Colibri is already running. So it is something that you can but still opens in a browser and it runs on Python. So you must be able to have Python running on your machine in order to have it offline. So you need to go to Studio, create a channel, then after that, log on, install, have your Colibri running on your computer, and then from there, you can. So now this one is running on my computer. You can see here the URL is 127.0. It's no longer on EduTech Teachers, or it's no longer on the one of ministry. This is now my own. So I can be able to say my own, I set up my Colibri, I import my channels, and then my learners can access it on the local area network.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkalile. Now, colleagues, I would want to receive your positive feedback via WhatsApp. That's gratitude to the useful information. But also assure you that if you utilize the resources and the other videos we are sharing, we'll get there. Yeah, it is always said a journey of 1,000 begins with a single step. So let's leverage good use of this first step to doing the content, and probably we'll get there. I don't see any other hand. Is there any other person I'm closing out having a contentious question? I would love to give you room. Okay. Yeah. In the chat, some question has come. If I accidentally select a wrong screenshot while turning in, is there a way to undo and submit again? Yeah, I think that is possible absolutely before the teacher marks in. You know, when you turn in, you can cancel. You can cancel if there's always that time lag. But if the teacher has finished returning, that means by marking, then you can't be in position to do return. Comrade Joseph, to conclude also, you asked about assessment. There is day 4, we'll be looking at online assessment tools. So besides the LMS, there are other tools that you can independently utilize for just assessment, because your interest was assessment, creating assessment items, even when you don't have LMSs. So please be prepared and stay with us as we continue. All right, our time has elapsed, and looking at your responses here, there is no other question. So currently, I will take the privilege to invite Madam Janet to make conclusive remarks. Great appreciation to Comrade Andrew Keddy for being supportive through the session, through the chat. Be prepared tomorrow. You'll be catching up with him. And Madame Katsime will be also catching up with us tomorrow for a very delightful session. So colleagues, stay with us for the elaborate or detailed learning. To George Emerald, thank you very much, colleague, for the good facilitation with also Mr. Mkalili. Madam Janet, it is now my role and great privilege, a singular honor to invite you. Give us the conclusive remarks as we stay closed. As we close the session.
But I think before she comes in the comments, there has been several questions of people who are asking to either be added to the WhatsApp group. Recently, some of the admin rights have been changed on how people join or leave the WhatsApp group. Maybe she can also clarify on such comments.
Absolutely. Very, very impactful. Madam Janet, you're welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. And I also join Dennis to thank everybody for today, from the facilitators, the presenters, and the participants. Well done. I think we are progressing well. So a pat on each and everyone's back for that. In the interest of time, we've actually gone 30 minutes over our planned time. This is lesson for us, facilitators. Let's think about this for future engagements. On the request to join platforms, this engagement is originally planned for teachers in schools that have been connected to the internet through the support of UNICEF and Airtel Uganda. But we extended the opportunity and asked them to also invite other teachers if they're interested. So the current platform that we have is for the connected schools. Now, like I said yesterday, we have to find a way of creating another platform for all other teachers, because on this platform of connected schools, there are some things that happen there that might bore you if your school is not connected. Like I said yesterday, including troubleshooting, screenshots of routers that are not working. You may feel frustrated after this session. So we are thinking about it. We might create another platform. But in the meantime, please, what you do, there is a link for registration for this class. When you register, all the resources, I have seen it for myself. I'm a student. I'm attending all the classes. There are all the resources, the presentations, all the resources related to the session, even the recording for the session is there on Google Class. So I encourage teachers who are not on the WhatsApp platform to still register and access it the other side. We have not forgotten you. Even as I'm speaking, we are chatting with Airtel colleagues how we can manage this situation. What happens after this 1 week when the sessions are over? What's the plan? So we want to be strategic in the way we think about it and not just create a platform and put you there and then there's nothing going on. So this is the communication. I thank everybody and just say have a good evening and let's meet again tomorrow.
Thank you very much. We appreciate. Now, colleagues, I will invite a volunteer to do a closing prayer as we end our session. If there's any volunteer, please hit the reaction button and put up your hand to give us a closing prayer. Yes, I'm looking at you, the participants. Please feel free to put up your hand and take the privilege of offering the closing prayer. Okay. Yes, that is again Kat Mwesige. Kindly unmute, comrade, and do a closing prayer. Kat Mwesige? Okay. Comrade, I think, has network, unless you people can hear him. Okay. I think there's issues of network. Let me give the chance to Comrade Katsime, Madam Apofia. Kindly unmute. Katsime here.
Hello?
Yes, Herbert, please, we are not hearing you previously. Could you say the prayer now?
Okay. Let's humble ourselves for a prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening session, and we really appreciate that you had to drive us from the morning up to now. May you be the one to give the blessings to those who have delivered the content to us. It was really very important, and hope that we shall make use of it for the goodness of us, the students, and the entire community, for the whole world. We appreciate, and may you grant us
the peace and the power plus the energy, so that tomorrow we may come back when we can still praise your name through your Son, Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Colleagues, the session ends here. Let's meet again tomorrow for another session. And tomorrow we cover creating engaging content. So as educators, tomorrow we look at how we can create engaging content. Have a good night. Till then, let's keep doing the assignments. Thank you and bye for now.
Bye.